Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for my client Robert's vlog. Of course, I'm going to give him a little bit of a hard time here because I needed to get these vlogs done. Before I go get some other things done and can't make any for a few days. And, Robert sent me all of his footage for the week all in one day and didn't give me any numbers. All I know is that he deadlifted 10 reps with 180 kilos. That's all I know. So, and I'm going to have to remind him, hey, I've got to have all your numbers on these plus sets or else we can't program your next block. Can't program it. I guess we just leave training maxes and stuff the same. But it also is helpful for the vlog. So he had sent me everything at the end of the week. And of course it put it out of order. Usually I prefer if my guys, especially the vloggers, send me the stuff day by day with details. But I don't have all of that, but we can at least look at what Robert's doing. And you guys know he is a former hard gainer. We put over 40 pounds on him at this point. Now he's a little over 6 foot tall. He's like 6'2" or something in that range. So when I talk about 40 pounds, keeping in mind some of the guys are like, well, shouldn't a guy only gain? Well, he was underweight. He was really skinny. Okay. So you need a context for that. And he's tall. So a lot of times when we talk about how much weight someone can gain, when most of the experts out there say, hey, a person can drug-free gain about this much muscle, they usually mean a short guy. All right, they're looking at averages around the world. In America, the average is 5'9". Around the world, it's less. So they're looking at just overall averages. They might be talking about for a 5'6" or a 5'7" guy a lot of times. He's over 6 foot, so, he's not going to gain just 25 pounds of muscle. And especially if you start underweight. So we're working in some hyper extensions for him because he has got access to the bench. He likes it. It gives us a good stretch, and it reduces some of the axial loading because we do a lot of squat and deadlift volume for him. So, he has access to this, so we thought for a phase, hey, let's do that. So for his deadlift day, we do deadlifts. And this was a 5+ week, but he managed to get 10 reps there. Then we do, some weighted 45-degree hyperextensions, again, to build low back, glutes, hamstrings. Then he does his hanging leg raises. And for Robbie, that's more than plenty for a deadlift day. More than plenty. And I think some of the people will note, a lot of my guys who do 4-day programming, we don't always do as much work per day as my guys who do 3. We don't do as much work always on a day-to-day. Overhead press day, he seems to have done pretty good. Looks like he cranked out quite a few reps, but I didn't get a count. I'm not going to stand there and count them. You guys can count them if you really and truly care about it, since he didn't give me numbers. If you guys really want to know, you could rewind this clip and count them. But it was definitely more than 5 reps. Definitely got more than 5 reps there. So he's doing good. Again, we do boring but big type stuff for him. So we do 5x10 afterwards at 50% of his training max. Although, again, he's rushing through this. This is something that I talk to my guys about a lot. Don't rush through these lifts. Don't rush through this stuff. We want pauses. We want control. In fact, one of my advanced guys looks like he just tore a bicep. Just tore a bicep on his 5+ week doing touch and go deadlifts because he's like, well, I really wanted to get 12 reps on your 5+ day. So in order to get that, he did touch and go. And it wasn't with 400 pounds. It was with a heavy weight. And then he's like, oh, I think I tore a bicep. A little bit of bruising. I can't bend my arm correctly. He's like, shit. So do we see what we mean about the ego, guys? We do all these volume work and rep work to build muscle, to build strength. It's not there as an ego test. So the same thing here. I really want Robbie to pause, just like I want all my people to pause. And it's kind of one of those things to where, a lot of you guys laugh. You're like, well, if my coach told me to do something, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. And here's how I know that. I get lifters who they get excited when they get to these things, even on a training max for bench or whatever. they will bounce the weight off their chest, send me the footage, and go, did I pause long enough, coach? I tried to count for 2 seconds. And they bounced that bar off their chest like a trampoline. There was 0 pause. And they're like, I tried to. I don't think maybe I didn't quite pause long enough. And I'm like, you know you didn't pause. But in their head, when they did the lift, they do. And that's the thing. A lot of you guys out there who don't film your stuff, just be aware. This is why filming is so valuable. I promise you there's lots of you out there who think that you're pausing your benching, and your benching looks like some of this right here. Or your overhead press the same way. It was just like in my vlog the other day, I felt like I was pausing at the tops of those overhead presses as I was doing them. But my footage determined that was a lie. So what you think you are doing versus what you're doing, it matters. So what do we got going on here? We got benching, we got chin-ups, got tricep work and stuff in here. He didn't film some of his supplemental stuff this week. A lot of the supplemental lifts didn't get filmed. You know, and that's okay. You can read the sheets to see what they are, right? It's all on the sheet at the start. So if you want to know what his programming was, you know, there it is. So again, for benching, I have him do, you know, bench, and then we do dumbbell press, we do chins. Usually on his overhead day, I like to throw in a little bit of extra arm work. You know, although if we're doing chins a couple times a week, we could debate how much bicep work someone needs, but he still needs a little bit of tricep work. Squatting, he's been doing really good lately, though. Squatting, we've been doing really good, just like the deadlifts. Nice and deep, right? Nice and deep. And I think we have all 3 sets. So he got quite a few reps on that plus set. Now, some people are going to sit and notice I'm letting him do the safety bar and stuff like that for the back off work. You know, we rotate through that stuff for him because he has so many joint inflammation issues. We have tendon inflammation. And again, it's something I've talked about with the really skinny hard gainers like that. Sometimes it takes years to get their connective tissue caught up, you know, after they start putting on the size, because tendons grow slower than muscles. And if you're way underweight, your tendons tend to be really weak and brittle, right? They tend to inflame really easy. So it takes time to build those things. So we still deal with some shoulder issues. We deal with wrist and elbow issues. And a lot of that's me trying to teach him to pull down on that bar, get it set correctly. And sometimes it becomes an issue for him. Now, overall, though, his strength was really good this week. Notice he had a deload week last week. Then he comes in and does stuff like, you know, deadlift PRs, big time. He benefits from deload weeks. I get clients who are like, I feel so much weaker after a deload week, and I don't even give them that many, you know, and they hate deload weeks. Guys like Robbie need one. He deloads every 4th week at this point. Like we do 3 weeks of training, then we do a deload week. Every time he comes back stronger, he comes back not hurting. And notice the difference. He's able to do the straight bar again suddenly after a deload. And look at, he's getting a lot of reps. I don't know how many he got here because he didn't send me the info, because I just plugged all this into the file to start recording due to time frame issues this week. But it's a lot of reps. It's a lot of reps. I mean, I think we got it, you know, at least 8 to 10 here without me even counting. Just based on an estimate watching this go through. But he's able to handle that straight bar for some of this. There's a grinder. That one's getting rough. Notice those elbows came up. All right, elbows came up, then he went for one more here, and that one looks terrible. All right, look terrible. Those elbows are coming way up. He's getting loose. But he still completed it. And then, of course, he did his back off work here with, you know, the safety bar is just easier on his shoulders. Easier on the shoulders. Let's just continue to get some squat volume in. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.